Welcome. You're listening to Sports Econ 101, the show where we discuss sports topics from a business perspective. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Vern Glenn of CBS affiliate KPIX-TV in San Francisco, and Russell Jackman. That rascal's off again today. He must be doing some lawyer stuff.
Oh, well, hey, I get it. You know, things happen. Life gets in the way.
Yeah, that's exactly
So,
it.
Russ, you'll be missed, but
Oh, we
we'll
missed.
carry on. The show must go on.
Exactly. Hey, did you make that up? That's a good saying. And at each commercial break, we're going to ask a sports trivia question. And today's trivia theme is baseball cards.
Baseball cards.
Baseball cards,
Okay.
yeah. This will be kind of fun. All right. And when we come back, there's a few things we'll talk about. One, the Bills general manager is planning to cut players who do not get vaccinated. Wow.
To cut them.
That's
He's on. Really?
That's
Okay.
you know, again, I get a lot of my stuff from Yahoo Sports because they have nice.
I wonder what the Players Association has to say about that.
Good point. Good
Yeah.
point. And then we have any bets on Laurel Hubbard winning in the women's weightlifting in Olympics. So apparently she was a man.
Oh, this is another cross-gender.
Another cross-gender
Okay.
thing.
Right.
And apparently, as long as the testosterone levels are below 10 nanomoles, whatever that is, for at least 12 months before competing. That's kind of how they're going to do the test. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but somehow they test it. And what happens if they, like, as time goes on, does the testosterone naturally keep growing? I'm not a scientist, so I don't know.
We just isn't that something that just naturally grows that we build in our
That's what I'm
body?
wondering. Yeah, because you always hear as you get older, your testosterone levels start to decrease. So that'll be interesting. All right, then we got a few more things to talk about. Tim Tebow, Albert Pujols, and a few other things. You are listening to Sports Econ 101, and it's sponsored by Pacific Private Money, still providing mortgage investments, currently yielding around 7.5%. It doesn't get any more conservative than them. Check them out at pacificprivatemoney.com. Stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown here, along with Vern Glenn. All right, so first thing, let's what we talked about just before we went to break. The Bills
Battling the issues. Yes.
Yeah, we're going to solve the world's sports problems. So
right, we can do it right now.
The Bills, the Buffalo Bills general manager apparently made an announcement that he was planning to cut players who do not get vaccinated. And you made a really good point about the Players Association. What will they have to say about that?
Well, the general manager is Brandon Beane. He says that it was over a Zoom call, and a lot was going on. A lot of people were talking over each other, whatever. He had said that he would cut players who were not vaccinated for reporting to these camps. And it's funny, since he said that, the NFL has said,
yeah, come here, we have something to talk about.
We need to talk about that, because you just can't boldly go over there. I mean, it's the Players Association is very powerful, and they're ones that will have issues with it. So I'm sure this will work out, but it'll work out quietly and behind doors.
Well, it's funny because I totally get it from the general manager's standpoint, but then also I get it from the Players Association. In fact, I could even see the Players Association kind of saying, "Listen, we're not going to play unless everybody does get." I mean, they could kind of pull that too, couldn't they?
I know an agent who told me one of his clients lost an opportunity to not work out for this team, but lost a real opportunity to possibly play for this team because he would not get vaccinated.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. And interesting, someone had just sent me an Instagram report or one of those things that in London, they're now talking about a potential wave of COVID cases that, and most of these people are have already been vaccinated. So, okay, how much the science? I mean, there's Fauci originally said, don't wear a mask. it's much better if you don't wear a mask. Then it's no, you have to wear a
No,
mask.
no, no, no. Now, come on. Now, he said that very, very early on. Let's bring that in context. And he has since said that I was wrong about saying that. I mean,
Well,
now, come on.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Let's tell all of the story instead of 10% of the story.
Yeah. Listen, I do appreciate that. When a guy says, "Hey, I was wrong." Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But, it's like, when are they going to come up with something else that we don't know? We don't, right? Come up with something else. You gotta wear a hat. Maybe that's going to be the thing. Who knows?
I think in the end, we're all going to do what works best for us, what we are comfortable with.
Yeah.
But if there's an employer, or if there's a concert, a game, they're like, look, it's our rule. You must be vaccinated if you want to come in. It's up to you. If you want this job, want to come back to work, want to go see this game, want to go see this game, rules are rules. And so if you want to do it, then you got to abide by the rules.
And I don't have a problem with that. I mean, that in America so far, it's still a capitalist society, and within reason, employers have a right to make rules.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're not discriminating against, be it race, religion, creed, all that other stuff. They're basically just saying, from a health standpoint, this is how we want to run our business. And
absolutely, it's not you. It's not you.
Exactly.
It's everybody must be vaccinated if you want to come and work inside these doors.
Yeah. And I don't have a problem with that. If you don't like it, don't work for that company. It's funny too, because they, there's all kinds of weird things going on with, like, uniforms, or how you dress. You can't. Companies, they like to project an image, right?
Sure.
And if somebody is got all kinds of tattoos or something that doesn't give the image that the company wants to project, they get a lot of pushback from someone.
Not that there's anything wrong with tattoos. But the bottom line is, management is going to set their own rules for their own company.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to look a certain way, then you must fall in line or seek other employment. It's just as simple as that. Well, now, if you got a lot of FU money in the bank, then fine. You can sit back and pick and choose. I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah. Well, and be it the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball, you sign these contracts that has a certain kind of clause, be it a morality clause or this clause or this clause, and basically saying, if you're going to work for this company, you've got to project the same kind of image. But it's kind of funny, because sometimes companies get a little wiggy about what people have on their Instagram or Facebook, what they're posting. And, it's like, well, wait a minute, that's my own personal Facebook. But if people know about you, then they kind of go, wait a minute, how are you letting this guy, I don't know. It's interesting. It definitely.
Well,
awesome.
I've mentioned it before. When I work for local CBS Channel 5 here, and have been told, hey, look, it's just not me, it's everybody. When I leave the house, when I walk out this door, I represent CBS. Whether I'm going to the 7-Eleven, Safeway, whatever, so what I say and do, how I carry myself, it's a reflection on the station I work for.
Well, you've been, for all the years I've known you, which has been 20-something years, I've always found that you've been extremely respectful, and you do a lot of posts, Facebook and all that. I mean, that's pretty much the only one that I've been following with you.
I do.
And it's very, I don't want to say nondescript, but nobody can ever get mad at what,
because I don't post things just to generate controversy.
No. It's like when a famous baseball player passes on, you'll do like a little tribute or something.
Right.
Has there ever been in the 20-something, 30 years or whatever? Well, of course, we didn't have social media 30 years ago. Have you ever been called into management because anything you posted got taken the wrong way?
No. Knock wood. Hasn't happened yet. I intend for it to not to happen. I mean, basically, it's what, Edward, it's a common sense thing.
Exactly.
So I mean, everybody can just, hit the
Yeah.
laptop.
Yeah.
When you hit send, there's no taking it back.
That's exactly. And by the way, for the audience who couldn't see you, who are listening, when you said knock on wood, you kind of tapped your head. So that's why I was laughing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty good. And one last thing before we go to break here, I was wondering about this person named Laurel Hubbard winning. Well, what are the odds that Laurel Hubbard will win the women's weightlifting in the Olympics? Now, this is somebody who is a transgender, and they're basically saying as long as her testosterone levels are below a certain level, she can compete.
That she can compete, right?
I still, and I don't know anything about her or any of the competition, but one has to kind of presume that this person will still have an edge. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah.
Think so?
Well,
just food for thought. All right, we're going to go to our first commercial break here of baseball card trivia question. Okay. Of several rookie cards, his Upper Deck issue from 1989 is the most popular. Who is he?
all right, ask it again.
Okay. So we're talking about baseball cards here. Of several rookie cards, his Upper Deck issue from 1989 is the most popular. So who was a rookie in 1989?
Rookie 1989.
Very, very popular baseball player.
With Upper Deck. Current player?
Current? No.
No, he's retired. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty good. Yes, he's been playing for the last 32 years. Satchel Paige,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still playing.
1989.
1989.
Okay.
I love that. That's a good one.
Position or pitcher?
Position.
Position
All right,
player.
that's our trivia question. Stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. There's a lot of humor here. All right, don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown along with Vern Glenn. Our first trivia question on baseball cards. Of several rookie cards, his Upper Deck issue from 1989 is the most popular. And no, he's not playing. He's not. He's not in the lineup today.
He's not in the lineup today. Okay.
Let's put it. I'll give you a couple of hints here. A very beloved player.
Very beloved.
Very, very beloved. He's mostly known for the first team that he played for, but he decided to go with a trade to a place where I believe he grew up and where his dad played. There's your easy question.
Okay, is it Ken Griffey Jr.?
Yes, it is. Now,
Okay.
did you know that because of what the last part I just said?
When you said beloved, that then triggered something. Inside of this wooden head, and
the wooden head. Oh
yeah.
boy, I tell you, if he didn't get as hurt, can you imagine how many more highlights we would have had? I mean, the thing I still remember is just watching him play, mostly for Seattle, and just crashing into the wall. I mean, he just the ball's there. I have to catch it. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, these players, no regard for their body. They just,
Yeah, and I guess playing in Seattle. Fortunately, he didn't have to play in Wrigley Field too often because the ivy only helps a little bit. And then
the brick right behind the ivy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who. I'm trying to remember any highlights or lowlights of anybody who hit the brick wall really, really hard.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. I was listening to Randy Wynn, former Giants outfielder, and he was explaining about playing the outfield position and fielding a ball that's near the warning track. And he says the rule of thumb is as you go back there, you kind of take your offhand, you kind of maybe you got a chance to glance, but you gotta really zero in on where that ball is to try and make the catch. So,
it's amazing because once you take your eye off the ball, it's really kind of hard to kind of focus back on. Yeah. Kind of creepy. And then I remember lots of times balls would get lost in the ivy, and then you put both hands up and
exactly.
double, baby.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so and now we've had his son on, FP Santangelo Jr., has been on the
Frank
show a couple
Paul.
times. Yeah, he's a good kid. Like him. Knows his sports and does a good job. So his dad now apparently suspended as a broadcaster for the Washington Nationals, accused of sexual misconduct several years ago by a
Oh,
woman who said he sent her angry text messages and blocked her on social media. Oh, the craziness of this. And apparently she's not seeking a formal complaint or any compensation. And I'm adding the words yet. Um, I mean,
several years ago.
several
Okay.
years ago, and now apparently it seems like this is just a woman scorned.
Why is it? Why is it coming out now?
Good question. Don't know. And the thing is, again, so far not asking for any money, and it's several years ago, which means it's got to be at least 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the big thing was the angry text message of who knows what that is, and blocked her on social media. Is that legal? Can you block someone on social media, or is that now illegal? You know, I mean, come on.
Well, it's not illegal.
No,
To
I
do
know.
that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But you know, here's the big problem, though, is that he's suspended. I mean, it's one thing to go, hey, listen, this lady accused me of this. Okay, we'll fight it out in the courts or whatever. But he's basically temporarily lost his job, I assume, without pay. You know, maybe there's other reasons they got rid of him, but
Because of an accusation.
because of an accusation, you know? I mean, good-looking Vern here. I'm sure you're always very careful about the women you keep company with. You know, it's like always probably, you know, going to lunch with more than one person, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, never being alone in an elevator with somebody, or just, you know, you gotta. I mean, even
I most recently was caught on camera holding a redhead, but she was 4 years old.
Yeah, I knew you had to add that one in there. Oh, your wife's listening and going, wait. Oh, okay, I got it.
friend of mine's 4-year-old kid. Up, I want up. Oh, okay.
Well, you know, it's funny. When I was assistant coaching my daughter's softball teams when she was, you know, 10 through 13, I always made it a practice. And I don't have any weirdness in me or anything, but I just to be on the absolute, you know, up and up safe side, I never was alone with any of the girls. Just it was always like in a public situation, you know, to say, hey, okay, this is how you catch this fly ball, whatever.
Right.
You know, just to what do they say? Don't even give the appearance of impropriety. You know, and I'm kind of guessing you kind of keep the same sort of moral standard, so to speak. I guess someone in your position, you have to be really kind of careful, you know, because you're a sought after man there, my friend.
Well, I don't know about that. I just get up there and make noise, you know, every day. But I don't know. I guess I don't really think about it. I just kind of carry myself the way, you know, mom and dad taught me to.
Exactly. You just you
Yeah,
had a good upbringing, which is really sweet. I think I saw a picture of you and your mom Mother's Day. Didn't you post this?
Yeah.
Well, you're very fortunate to still have your mom around.
Yes, yeah. I'll see her
Actually,
about a month.
And your dad's around too, right?
Yep. Big Vern.
Big Vern.
Big Vern turns 85 in a month.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that is really cool.
I'll head back to the Old Dominion to see him.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I like that. Tim Tebow signing with the Jags as a tight end, a position he's never played before at age 33.
Who was the head coach?
Urban Meyer.
Who was his college coach at Florida?
Urban Meyer. Wait, that's a total coinky-dink. You know?
Yeah, there you go. Well, you know, here's the thing. On something like that, I'm sure he and Urban are extremely close, and Urban probably said, "Hey, why don't you? Hey, if nothing else, come on out. You know, spend camp with us.
Yeah.
You get yourself on film as a tight end. Maybe somebody else will, you know, will tip because you know it goes around to all the rest of the teams. You know that are looking for position players. Now, the Jags, they have 5 tight ends already on the roster. You know, and these are guys that play tight end for a living.
Yeah.
You know, so but you know, Tim Tebow, I mean, that you know, it's resonates when you throw it out
Sure.
among any kind of sports fan base, be it football particularly and baseball. And so I great all around athlete, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I have no doubt that he can play the position. But I have to believe having your college coach as the NFL head coach certainly would, I wouldn't say open the door, but certainly unlock the door.
That's a good way to put it. It's only 1 year contract, and he
Yeah.
hasn't actually made the team because
You still got to go to camp. You still got, I mean, you got to earn it.
It would have
Because
been
most teams be maybe 3 tight ends, and then on the day of the game you activate maybe 2.
and that seems to be the position that I don't want to say is the easiest to play, but it's
not easy.
I know. I know out of all the, it's like, could he be a center? Probably not. Could he be a wide receiver? Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know what his speed is, and he's kept himself in really good shape, but it seems like it's sort of like, when baseball players get old, what do? They throw them at first base, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at Travis Kelce, he's
phenomenal.
He's a tight end, but boy, he's used like a whiteout a lot.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, at age 33, okay, that's not super old. It would have been nice to have him, maybe when he's only out of college, maybe 2 or 3 years, to kind of see, I don't know, maybe he's in the best shape of his life.
And this is probably the last go round for Tebow. I think his Major League Baseball aspirations are gone. I mean, he made it to AAA, and but
brought the fans in.
Yeah, sold a lot of tickets.
Yeah,
butts on the seats.
And didn't he do broadcasting also?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has done he done the ESPN thing. I mean, he's a talented guy. He can do it all. Really can.
Yeah. And he,
I always like in those Heisman Trophy commercials, whether it's State Farm, whatever, they get those commercials where they bring everybody back and they give the illusion that they're all living in a house together.
Yeah,
and they're wearing their college uniforms.
Yeah. Those are fun. The the nice thing is too is that I don't think he's going to be a big distraction. There's other players who have all these off the field antics that could really be a distraction. He's got his religious background, but I don't think it's a in your face type of, I'm gonna change the whole culture of the.
Oh no, it's not that. And if you're Tim Tebow, I mean, you know better.
Yeah.
All these guys, they're trying to make the 53-man roster, and so make the team first.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, I'd like to see him make it. I'd like to watch him play.
Which one? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you ready for our second trivia question on baseball cards?
Let's go.
His 1985 Team USA rookie card carries a nice book value in proper condition. Okay, basically it's valuable. Who is he? His 1985 Team USA rookie card is valuable. Let's put it that way. All right.
Okay.
Who is he? All right. Stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. One more time, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn. Second trivia question. His 1985 Team USA rookie card carries a nice book value in proper condition. Who is he?
My first answer is Mark McGwire.
And that is the only answer you'll need. That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's funny because I remember, so you had in 86, you had Canseco. In 87, you had McGwire, and then Walt Weiss in 88. Those are the 3 in a row the Oakland A's had. So it's funny, when I first looked at this, I said, wait a minute, 1985 rookie, but then I was really, Team USA rookie. Total difference. 2 years before he actually made it in there.
Yeah, McGwire, boy, he
came out like a house on fire. Remember, 49 home runs in his rookie year.
Flash,
yeah.
49.
Yeah, because I remember I went to the very last game of the season hoping he was going to get number 50. It was against Kansas City Royals, and they intentionally walked him the last like 2 times, even though it was a non-game. It's like, really, just because you don't want him to hit the 50th off your team. I mean, I hate that stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, the only last thing I got here is Albert Pujols. He's ending his time in Anaheim after
Yeah,
what, a $250 million contract. When does his
yeah.
contract actually end?
It was the last year of it,
Oh, it was.
and
Okay.
he got DFA'd, and uh, the first thought was, oh well, the first thought is Tony La Russa, who he played for. I mean, during his great years,
Yeah.
and sadly, La Russa, who is the current White Sox manager, said we just don't have a spot for him.
Yeah.
We don't have we don't have we don't have a position that we can open and create for him, because they're just too deep in everything that he could come in and
Yeah.
help with. So,
What's he hitting? A buck 280 or something?
yeah,
He's under 200.
he's struggling at the plate.
Yeah.
I mean, when he gets one, no cheapie, but
Yeah.
but they don't come in abundance. So they cut the cord and
Yeah.
DFA'd him.
It's now he's no Willie Mays, okay, granted, but just this last year,
By the way, happy belated 90th
90.
birthday
That's right, to our
He
friend
did.
Willie. Yeah.
Yeah.
His but for some reason this ending time in Anaheim, which, I mean, I'm guessing that he's probably going to retire, and I don't know if anybody's going to pick him up at this point. How old is he? 30? He's only 33 or something, isn't he? He's not that old.
Oh, I think
No,
he's
he's got to be
older
older than that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
got-
older than that.
he's maybe 38. But it just reminds me of Willie, because I'm assuming Albert, is he going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Probably. Think so?
I would think so.
Okay.
I think he'll garner. He'll garner enough votes.
Okay.
I would think
But it
to
just
be first ballot.
it just kind of reminded me of Willie, just because it seemed like retiring, just assuming Albert retires, it's like just 1 year too late. Maybe 2 years, but I don't remember what Albert did last year. But Willie.
There are a list of suitors out there for him. Cleveland, Washington, the
Well, yeah.
Royals, the Cardinals. He could go back to. Wouldn't that be something? If he went back to the Cardinals.
Well, that's what Willie did. Went back to New York for the Mets.
Yeah.
But, and the thing is, though, you wouldn't really want him as a designated hitter if he's going to be hitting below 200. Then how good of a fielder is he now?
But sometimes, I mean, he can still play first base, and sometimes a change of scenery,
Yeah,
can make a difference. And he's been in the American League all this time. I mean, what's to say he goes to the National League? Those pitchers don't know him, And
that's right. It's been a whole new generation.
yeah. So
Hey, just go as a pinch hitter. Like, I guess you could do that. So let's see. Moving on here. What else do you have on your list there, my friend? What do you want to talk about?
my focus in these times has been on the Giants and the A's. Those are the two major league teams that we have here. And the last time the Giants and the A's were going this way, when I say this way, first place teams in their divisions, was right around Mother's Day in 2014. And these are two teams that are going about it, I guess, in different ways. The A's, they use the power game, and they use pitching to win their games, and they've been able to win just about every series they play. It'll be interesting this week, because as we record this show, the A's are in Boston to play the Red Sox, another first place team. So you got this battle of the AL and the NL West kind of clashing. So
Yeah.
the A's on the road trip, we'll see what they do in Boston, and then and leading their division by 2.5 games, and then the Giants. That's the intriguing thing. Here's a team that's, I want to say they're getting it done, but with bubble gum and Scotch tape. But they have had quite amount of injuries, and Dickerson and people of the nature, and they just got Mike Yastrzemski back from injury, but these guys have been hitting home runs. I mean, they've been playing big boy ball. I mean, they had, as we record this show, 46 home runs, and which is among the leaders in all of baseball. So they've been, I mean, they've been clubbing the heck out of the ball. Brandon Belt has 8 home runs. Buster Posey has 8 home runs. Um, Brandon Crawford has 7 home runs. I mean, these are like core guys. I mean, these power part of your lineup, and they've been producing. And then they've had other guys producing as well. And the relief staff is just the pitching's been there. They've just been surprisingly distancing themselves from the Dodgers and the Padres.
Yeah.
All the experts said, they're just going to just dominate and run away with the National League.
Hey, Dodgers are going to come back again.
And nobody was talking about the Giants.
No.
Nobody. Well, here we are mid-May, and look where they are.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't both Boston and Oakland start the seasons really slowly?
Boston got swept by the Orioles, and the A's started the year 0-6.
Yeah. It's amazing how just I guess you just scratch it out one game at a time. You can't lose heart, and you go through these streaks, and suddenly you go, you know what? We can actually win some games here. Hey, we're getting first place.
Yeah, so you got 2 20+ win ball clubs as we speak, and they've whatever they got cooking. I mean, they're eating it up.
Very good. So, are you going to make predictions of the World Series yet?
No. Anybody knows you got to wait till August before you start spewing that. So that's been my focus. The Warriors, their drive to the playoffs have been my focus as well.
Yeah.
Golden State right now hovering between 7 and the 8th seed, and they have this new play-in tournament that they're going to have at the end of the season. And I don't know if the viewers or the listeners know, but if you finish 7th through 10th, they're going to have this playoff tournament where 7 plays 8, 9 plays 10. So the loser, the winner of 7 and 8 grabs that seed. The loser, I believe, plays the loser of the 9-10 game, and the winners from that's how they determine the top 8 seeds.
I mean,
for a
one
conference.
would think 7 plays 8, 9 plays 10, and those winners play each other just to see who gets the 8th seed. But it's not.
I think it's a matter of winning. It's a matter of winning, surviving, and advancing, and that's the reward you get for winning. Grabbing one of those.
Actually, 2 of those teams would. If it's 7 plays 8 and 8, then that means
7 plays 8.
In.
9 plays 10.
But you have 2 teams that have to get in.
2 teams, yeah.
You have 2 of those teams, 4.
You have 4 teams going for 2 spots.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, interesting how that.
But they did it, I think, to avoid tanking.
Yeah.
And to make sure that these games really mean something at the end, and to avoid the load management that a lot of these teams have when they send their best players before the playoffs hit.
No, good.
I don't think it's very popular with the Players Union, but guess what? Players Union, they had to green light it at the beginning of the season.
Gotcha. Well, it's just an experiment this year, and they'll see how it works.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea because it just makes it more exciting.
I love the idea.
Yeah, I think it's great. The more that you have games that actually mean something is really neat. And Steph Curry, is he on his career MVP year?
Yes. Yes, I think he really wants to win the scoring title. He's probably not going to win the MVP because that usually goes to a player on a winning team.
Yeah.
So somebody like Nikola Jokic will probably win it, but Curry is making an argument to be in the top 3 in that voting, just launching threes with an alarming rate.
Yeah,
It's just unbelievable just how effortless it looks.
Yeah. Well, and also
from half court, it's like a layup.
Yeah.
No?
And the speed at which he catches the ball and releases, and because no defender has time to even get on him. And his teams are smart enough his teammates are smart enough to set all kinds of screens just to get him open. He just only needs a little bit of space, and then to get the shot off. And it's funny because, the players he's playing against are pros, but boy, he kind of makes them look not so much like pros a lot of times, little
Yeah.
jib a jab, that sort of thing. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
he wove through the Utah Jazz the other night like
Yeah,
it was
butter.
nothing. Put those guys on skates.
Yeah,
Crazy.
exactly.
Yeah.
It is kind of challenging to vote for a player for MVP on a losing team,
Mhm.
because you could still say, yeah, he's the best player. I mean, but it's kind of unfair to take it away from him because it's not a one man game.
Well, it's always the great argument. What does MVP mean?
Yeah,
Is it best player, or is it the most valuable to that team's success? Now the
that's a good
Warriors aren't
point.
a losing team, but they're kind of close to a 500 team.
Yeah.
But you take Curry away, they're not even. The conventional wisdom is they're not even in the discussion.
Okay, so here's one way to do it is to say of all the players, who would you want on your team? Assuming that you don't have to say, well, we need a center or need a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general, if you just generally speaking, who's the one player you would pick to have on your team? That might be a good way to.
Well, who gets the who gets the vote for that though?
Who votes for MVP?
Well,
Right. I guess you guys kind of look at it that way. Okay.
yeah.
Here is our third trivia question on baseball cards. And hey, you're 2 for 2. Not bad. Okay. Though this
Well, I got a big assist with the first one.
Well, true, but that's okay. That's all right. Though this card company died in the early to mid 1950s, it was resurrected in 1989 and has become the king of the rookie cards. Which company are we talking about? All right.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good one here. All right. Though this card company died in the early to mid 1950s, it was resurrected in 1989 and has become the, quote, king of the rookie cards. Which company are we talking about that makes baseball cards? All right, stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back with some closing comments. Don't touch that dial.
Let's go.
Well, welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn. Hopefully, Mr. Jackman will join us next week. Always misses the fun, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's our third trivia question. Though this card company, we're talking about baseball cards here, this card company died in the early to mid 1950s, it was resurrected in 1989 and has become the, quote, king of the rookie cards. Which company are we talking about? Okay, name all the baseball card companies you know.
Tops,
no. Okay, no.
Lear,
no. Upper Deck, no.
Upper Deck,
Donruss, no. Who's the last
What?
one? Okay, so if you think of a Mickey Mantle card, do you remember who made that card? Because we're talking mid 1950s. Okay,
I'm blanking on that. I'm swing and a miss for me.
Bowman or Bauman, Bowman. I think it's pronounced it Bowman.
Yeah, with a pick.
That was
Yeah,
a tough one.
I would have been caught swinging. I would
That's
have.
okay.
I wouldn't have swung. I would have
You
been
would've
caught
swung?
looking.
Caught looking. Okay, well, you still
looking,
added 657. That'll get you in the Hall of Fame anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, here's our thoughts for the day. How does the moon cut his hair?
How does the
Moon cut his hair.
cut his hair?
Yeah, eclipse it. You like that? Isn't it good?
That's good. That's really
You
good.
like that one? Okay.
I like that.
Eclipse it. Okay. And my wife told me to take a spider out instead of killing it. And we went out and had a few beers. Cool guy, very driven. Wants to be a web designer. That's pretty good.
That's a class. That's
a classic
dad
one.
joke. Yeah.
All right. Tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We'll be discussing sports topics from a business perspective, asking more sports trivia questions, and having more dad jokes. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Good night, America.
So long.